Hey everyone, welcome to my fourth lesson, and today we are going to talk about the Boolean modifier, and that is going to be our primary way of combining these objects to prepare it for 3D printing. So just real quick, I'm just going to show you, and I'm just making this up as I go, so, you know, don't judge me too harshly. Let's say I'm making like a, I don't know, kind of looks like a pawn, right? Okay, let's keep it at that. Okay, we're making this like very rudimentary pawn. I kind of want to make it better, but no, that's not what today's lesson is about. Okay. All right, so if we go into X-ray mode, you can see. Let's go into wireframe X-ray mode. You can see that the cylinder is going through our sphere and our cube, our formerly known as cube. And when we 3D print objects, that's not what we want. Like, we could select all of these, right click and join them so that they, you know, for all intents and purposes, it's one object. Right? Like, I click on this, it's the whole thing and it's one object. But we don't want that because there's all this internal geometry. And when you try to 3D print it, sometimes the 3D printer will not exactly know what's the outside and what is the inside when it is like this. So we need to kind of get rid of all the internal geometry. I'll show you another. So if we were to go in here, you can see that the cylinder is piercing through the block. I'm just going to call it the block. Okay, and then if we go through the sphere, you can see that there's like that tiny bit of the cylinder that is piercing through. So right now, if I were to print this, it might turn out fine, but because of that, the 3D printer might get confused and not know what is inside and what is outside, and then just kind of not be able to determine what it's looking at and just print nothing. Okay, so we are going to Control Z. Okay, so now these are separate again. And I'm going to show you the longer way first, just so you understand what is going on. And then I'm going to show you a little shortcut. Okay, so we are going to do a modifier, and it's called the Boolean modifier. And what we want to do is union. Okay, and then right now, this sphere is our main object. And the object that we want to union it, we could use with this like eyedropper. Okay, so as you can see, it kind of turns all weird, right? That's because it, for some reason, it makes a copy of the cylinder. Okay, so we are just going to apply, and then we're gonna click on this, like this was the original, and we're gonna delete it. Okay, now, you know what? Let's do this first. Add the union, and then it makes a copy. You know, we're going to Control A and then Control A, visual geometry to mesh, and then get rid of this. Okay, now when we look at it in X-ray wireframe mode, the internal geometry is completely gone. So this is ready to be 3D printed. Real quick though, let me show you another function of the Boolean. Let's go. I don't know if you noticed. But there is another, the default function of the Boolean modifier is difference. And what that does is it subtracts a different object. So if we were to do this and apply it, and then get rid of this cylinder, as you can see, it made a hole through the entire object. So instead of adding objects to, make your shape, you can actually subtract objects to also make your model. So I thought that was just something that you needed to know. And there is one more. Let's see. Let's just... there is this intersect. I never use this because it kind of just keeps what space both of these objects occupy. So if I were to intersect both of these, in theory, it'll only be like this half a sphere. Okay, so let's try it. Yep, there it is. And we apply it. And now we have this half a sphere. I don't ever use this, and I'm sure there is like a use for it, but I don't know why you would ever use that versus, the other ways you can do things. Okay, but I just wanted to let you know. So a good thing about Blender is that you can highly customize it to your preferences. For example, I don't need like this. This is like a frame by frame. So I can just get rid of this. And I could just get rid of that and be fine with it. But there are these add-ons. If you go to Edit and Preferences, there are these different add-ons that you could install, and it'll make your life a lot easier. And one of those is the Bool tool. And as you can see, I already have this clicked on, but yeah, it's already like installed. You just need to enable it by checking this box. What that does is, let's just make another set of... I'm just going to use the one cylinder this time. Okay. So if we go to X-ray mode, you can see that the cone is piercing the sphere. And then we're going to press N to get our little options on. And then if we go to Edit, you'll probably see it like this, Bool tool. And then what we can do is just click on this, Shift left click on that one. So you're selecting both, or you can just, that's fine too. And then you just press Union. And then now if we go to X-ray mode, you can see that it did the process of combining the objects without making a copy. So it's a little faster, right? Instead of going like add modifier, Boolean, union, boom. Instead of doing all that, you just click on two objects and union. And in the future, that is going to be the primary way I combine objects. So, but I just wanted you to know the roots of this shortcut, just in case you ever wanted to use it. Okay, and let's just Control Z until we have our two objects. Okay, and there is this brush Boolean option as well, but I don't see a reason to ever use it. So I'm just going to show you real quick what it does. You do the union, and then you apply it. And then it leaves like this invisible cube, which I'm not sure why the object turns invisible, but it's like the regular way of doing the Boolean modifier where it leaves a copy. So this is the copy, and I'll prove it by moving it over here, doing this, and then doing another union. And as you can see, this another sphere has appeared, and then I can move it and then apply it. And I don't see myself using this because I don't get the advantage. Like, why is it invisible? It's kind of hard to like, oh, I want to apply. And then yeah, like if you wanted to like keep adding the one shape, that would be your advantage, but there are just other ways you can go about doing this, right? Like get a sphere and just make a whole bunch and then just add it all. I don't understand like why that's there, but I just wanted to show you that that's there. Probably use auto Boolean and not brush Boolean. Okay? Okay, let's look at another example. This is like kind of like a robotic arm that I'm working on. It is highly influenced by Magitech armor from Final Fantasy. But I'm gonna change it so that it's not like, completely infringing on copyright. But I was just doing this for fun anyway. But as you can see, this is made of different parts and they all kind of overlap. And if we go into X-ray mode, X-ray wireframe mode, you can see that there's a whole bunch of internal geometry that we need to get rid of. So what we're going to do is just A to select all. And then we're going to go to make sure we're in object mode, go to edit, Bool tool, and then we're just going to union. And let's see if that worked. Yep. As you can see, the claws stop right at the arm. So we're good there. This like elbow joint seems to be, yeah. So I think we are good. Yeah. So this piece is ready to be supported and 3D printed. Okay. I am just real quick gonna show you one last example of using the difference modifier. Okay, so here I'm just gonna use a cylinder to demonstrate. And I'm just gonna eyeball it. I could do this like more mathematically, but I just want to show you real quick something you can do with. Just gonna try to space it out. Okay, so I know this kind of looks weird, but you gotta think fourth dimensionally of what this can look like, right? I'm actually gonna preemptively edit this. We're gonna inset it. We're gonna inset it about like this, and then extrude it down here so that we have like a thing. And then we're just going to select all this, go to Bool tool and difference. And as you can see, it kind of made this like, this is kind of like an exhaust pipe kind of thing. Like the one example I can think of is the shoulders of Optimus Prime. So yeah, that's another way to use the difference tool to make these kinds of shapes. So I think that's going to be it for today. Very short lesson on how to add and subtract objects together using the Boolean tool. And for your homework today is to make an object and combine it to get rid of all the internal geometry so that it is 3D printable. Remember, if it has internal, this one's kind of hard to see, but this one's fine because it has an empty middle part already. But yeah, it needs to not have any internal geometry so that you can 3D print it without any problems of, you know, it trying to figure out what's the inside and what's the outside. Like just having everything like this, your 3D printer will know that it's on the outside. So that is your homework for today. It could be anything. You can make a car is a pretty good example. Pretty easy, like using regular shapes. But yeah, you can make anything, and then just make sure you combine it using the Bool tool, and yeah, see what you can come up with. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.